Air-fried boneless turkey breast. Actually, air-fried boneless Cajun turkey breast, because I'm going to inject it with Tony Chachere's injectable Creole style butter, and I'm going to sprinkle it with his Creole seasoning. And take my word, this is not the first one I've done recently. It's turned into one of our family favorites. It makes the best sandwiches you'll ever eat. I promise that. We're going to do it in the Ninja Foodie 6.5 quart. And the first thing we have to do is get it injected, so we got to get that started, because I melt a little butter and put in there with it. I'm going to show you all that. I'm John Sanders, also known as Jelly 007. Let's make one of the best sandwiches you'll ever eat. Okay, here is what we're working with. It is a boneless turkey breast roast, fresh, never frozen. It's already netted for you. Everything's done. So all you have to do, you cook it with that netting on there. You'll see all that in just a minute. 2.7 pounds. It's not the cheapest thing in town for a fresh one. It's $6.98 a pound, and this one was $18.85. But I'm telling you, if you cook one, you'll agree that they are well worth that. Now, one thing I do with all turkey, whether I'm frying them, cooking them on a green egg, or anything I'm doing with them, we almost always use this right here, which is Tony Chachere's Creole style butter. Now, the one thing I do to it, and if I'm cooking a whole turkey, I would be using this entire container and a whole stick of butter. And because we're only doing a breast, I'm going to cut that in half. A half of this container, and I'm going to use a half stick of butter. And here's what I'm using in the butter, and it's a high butter fat. It's got sea salt, and I've just recently started using it, and I really like it. I will say, nobody's paying me, and I'm not affiliated. I say it a lot, but nobody here. This is all John. Just want to get that out of the way. But the reason I'm saying it, this is at room temperature. I set this stick out hours ago because I want it to melt at the lowest temperature I can get it. I'm going to pour half of this container in there. I'm going to put half of that stick in there, and I'm going to just mix it and get it melted as low as I can get it, because I don't want it really hot, because when you inject it, you don't want to cook your turkey. Hey, be honest with you, it's okay to just put this. Not even worry about this step I'm doing, but take my word, this adds a lot of flavor. So I'm going to get that started, and when I come back, I'll have this ready to go in. I'll show you what I do when I inject them, and we'll go to the next step. Be back. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that on that video, but that's 110 degrees, and that's what I melted, or that's what I got this liquid warm with. Then I put half of that stick of butter, kind of chopped it up and put it in there, and then I didn't even let it melt it all the way on the eye. I just let it get warm enough to melt that room temperature butter. And like I said, you just don't want it so hot that it's going to start the cooking process. So that's all I'm saying. I tell you what will convince you to do that is, once you've done that, just dip a spoon in it and taste it. That is the perfect flavor for a turkey sandwich. Like I said, try it and you'll see what I mean. But anyhow, we're about to inject that turkey. I got to get it back out of the refrigerator. Be back. All right, here's what it looks like out of the bag, or out of its plastic wrapping. And this netting works really, really well, and that's why I like it so much. There are other ways of doing this where you can take a fresh breast that you can buy at the supermarket. In fact, I've got a video I'm going to put in at the end of this video that shows you, what other ways of purchasing this same thing. You're just not going to get this netting. It's not going to be ready. By the way, pull that out. You don't need it. So I pull that out. Now, the next step is to put, what I do is I put it in here before I inject it, because you're going to get a lot of runoff. It's not a solid piece of meat. It's a breast that's wrapped up. So as that runs off, it'll leave me a little bit to just kind of juice up the outsides with that fantastic tasting flavor right there. And then it'll give me something for that right there to stick to. So I'm going to get the needle and everything ready and get that stirred up real good, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. All right, here we go. I've already got most of it injected. I will say it comes with the needle. It's common sense. In fact, it has a diagram on the side. You just thread the needle on. But then you draw up, enough. You just keep drawing till you got down to about that much. And that's about how much I leave. I leave this much to dress it with when I flip the turkey. In the middle of the cook, we're going to flip it. So when I flip it over, I'll take this brush and I'll brush that over the side that's up, and then that gives me something for this to stick to when I touch it up with the Creole seasoning. But it's just like this right here. You just inject it. Now you kind of go slow, because like I said, it's not a solid piece of meat. Sometimes it runs out. You can see how much I've got in the bottom here. And sometimes you'll come out of another hole you got that you've made, but you can't mess it up. You really can't. So like right now, I'm going to roll that around, and I'm going to just let this right here kind of soak and sit for a minute, let it all get to one temperature. And in a minute, we're going to preheat that device, the Ninja. I'm going to put a coating of the Creole seasoning on the outside of this, and we're going to get this started. So I'll be right back. All right, right there is a turkey breast. It's been injected. I've rolled it around. I've put a decent amount, I'd say maybe a half a tablespoon or better. You know your seasoning level better than I, but there is what I'm looking for. You can see that coating that's on there. And all I did was use what came off of the turkey when I injected it. So that's about what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to sprinkle it again. I'm actually going to touch it up once I set it in the Ninja. Now, I've already sprayed the Ninja with avocado oil. Right here it is what I used, that right there. I've sprayed the basket. So now all we're going to do is preheat the Ninja for about 5 minutes. And I'm using the air crisp mode. I just think the reason I'm doing it is because a lot of people's air fryers don't have air roast. I don't know that it means any difference, because what I've been doing on this works really good. And this is the function I've been using. And I do them at 325 degrees. And that might sound a little low to some people, but take my word, I'm trying to keep from drying it out. And man, they have worked great. Somewhere around an hour and 10 minutes is what it'll take in the Ninja. So I'm going to let it preheat for, let's see what time set for 20 minutes. We'll let it preheat for about 5 minutes. And then when I set the bird in, or the turkey in, I'll start this timer, and we'll know exactly how long it takes to be completely done. So I'll be back. Okay, so it's preheated about 8 minutes, and you can see there's what it looks like now. That's the side I want to present when the turkey's done. So I'm going to put it in this side up to begin with. Now I'm going to flip it around 30 minutes. Now I'm still trying to get all of that Creole seasoning and all that butter and stuff that I can get picked up. So I'm going to dry my hands off right here. We're going to open this up and set it in the Ninja. That's 325 degrees. As simple as this right here. Of course, you want to be careful. You hear it sizzle. And dry my hands again. And we're going to sprinkle just a little bit of this on there. About like that. And that would be about the perfect amount. Close the lid back. Now, I'm going to completely stop it. I always do, just to get all the way back to where I know what I'm doing. Wipe my hands off. I'm just going to hit stop. Next, I'm going to hit air crisp again. We're going to take it back to, got to hit it twice, take it back to 325. And then we're going to go all the way as high as it'll go, which is 1 hour. Now, once I hit start, I want to make sure I did hit 325, right? Yep, 325, 1 hour. Going to hit start, and we're going to hit start. So, that's going to run past an hour. I already know it will, or it always does. It always has before, so I'm assuming it will now, but we'll have a total count right here, and I'll be back. Okay, so we are at the 30-minute mark. In fact, we're going to open it up. I'll let you see it. There's how it looks. And it looks really good. Whoops. So we got to get it kind of painted with the butter, Creole butter mixture. And then we're going to sprinkle it. I'm going to paint both sides. I go ahead and put a little bit on this side. It ain't going to hurt. And I use these gloves because it's hot. So I got some gloves that I use for Boston butts and stuff like that. We're just going to flip it over right quick like that. And I'll let you see that side. That didn't lay just like I'd like, because that's going to be a little close to the element. But it's okay. It'll be all right. I'm going to move it back. I am a little picky with how they say it. All right, so I'll let you see what that one looks like. It looks like that. And by the way, let's see. All we're gonna do is just brush it a little bit right here. And if I make a mess, I make a mess. I just want to get this Creole butter, which is an excellent product. It really is, especially when you add a little real butter to it. And now we're going to dress it up for presentation. That's what side this is. So we're gonna just kind of doctor it a little bit and close the lid. We're back and running. So I don't know, somewhere around an hour, we'll do some temp checks. I will say we lost a couple of minutes between here and there. When that lid's open, this one stops and that one doesn't. So be back in a minute. Okay, as you can see, we're coming up on an hour of cook time, and we're fixing to do some temp checks, take a look at it, see how it looks, and see how much time we think we're going to need, but we're going to do it right now. And I'll show it to you. It looks excellent. There's nothing wrong with that. We're going to see what it is in the center. Now, we're 130 right there, 126 even. So about 130, 126 or so is the lowest number. Now we'll say this one's a little plumper, a little more plump than the last two I cooked. But I'm looking for somewhere around an hour and 10 minutes usually. So we're going to go ahead and add, say, I don't know, we'll add 30 minutes because we got to get it to 165. That's what I'm wanting. So, well, we're way past 30 minutes. But anyhow, there it is. It's set. We'll have an idea. We'll know exactly what it takes here in a minute. All right, I'll let it go a minute past. We're right at 1 hour and 15 minutes cook time, or 1 hour and 16 minutes. Let's see what we got right here. Dead center, right down the middle. The lowest number I saw was 152. So I'm gonna let it go another 5 minutes because I'd like to see like 150, 158 or so, and then carry over. We'll take it to the 165. So we're looking good. Be back. All right, we're gonna go by the 1 hour and 25 minutes right here, and that's close enough. So we're gonna see what we get right here, right now, right down the center. 160, 159. That is good with me because that'll give us easily give us a 165 carryover. So I'm going to get that out of that heat, and I think it'll be perfect. I can't imagine that being bad. I'm going to set it right here. We're going to let it rest just a minute and get ready to cut it up. See what it looks like. Okay, so we've got about 5 minutes of rest time going on. And here's the thing about this. You're going to get that hash mark look, but take my word, it doesn't matter. We're going to cut this netting off. And I do try and do it, and I probably should have done it from the other side, and I normally do. But I'm going to try and be careful just for a presentation. But you know what? I'm fixing to cut it into sandwich slices or make a turkey salad out of it, just like you would a chicken salad. And that's what we've been doing with them. And man, they work. They just do. I ain't going to just over preach them. But you can see I am pulling some of that off. But you do get the hashtag look. And I'm going to, that's hot. So we're still going to let it rest a minute. But you see what it looks like. I'm going to clean that plate up just a little bit. And then we're going to slice it up. So I'm going to do that and I'll be back. I decided not to clean the plate up. I'm just going to slice it. I mean, I want you to see what it looks like because it is we'll even do a temp check right quick. It's been out 5 minutes and we need 165 for a minimum. And you see 173. Anywhere you check, we're good. 167, and that is a perfectly cooked turkey breast. So let's see. I'm not really sure how I want to do it. You know what? We'll cut it in the center because it's easy to cut from the center once I get it cut. But I like to kind of do it that way. And there's what the center looks like. Now, it's still hot. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to show you the inside of it without burning my fingers too bad. There it is. I'm telling you, that is some really good turkey. It makes again, I've said it 1,000 times, it makes a sandwich like you'll not forget. I'll just put it like that. And all you got to do is slice it, you know, into sandwich slices, and then put in some good bread. And I've got plenty over here. I like a thin bread. I've even got brioche over here, which is a sweet bread. It works well. So I'm going to slice up a piece and just kind of let you see it and take a bite of it and get my hands clean. But I'm going to come back and do that. All we're going to do is try it. I'm not going to try and make a sandwich or anything. I'm just going to promise you this is as good a sandwich meat that you'll cook at your house. I'll just say it. I mean, I think it really is. We'll get one right here. I mean, there it is. And it's moist, it's juicy. And I mean, it's excellent. And it has become one of our favorite meals. The whole family now, not just me. Daughter-in-laws and the baby doll, everybody has voted this #1. Now, there's many things I haven't tried. Duke's has a sandwich relish, and so does Blue Plate. And as long as you put it on a good bread with some mayonnaise, some good mayonnaise like Blue Plate or Duke's, that's really all I use. That and maybe some pepper. So what I'm getting at, too, is I've got some videos I'm going to drop in here. One is the how to get it at the store. I mentioned it earlier. And you'll see what I mean. You'll see how I purchased this one, and then what's beside it, and then you would need to do this exact thing with what they provide on what they cut up a turkey. You'd have to use butcher twine or whatever. Where this comes with the netting that I really like, but I also show some frozen ones that are you can thaw out. I've never tried, and it even says you can cook them frozen. Now I may try that. But injecting this with this Tony Chacheres is it's really unbeatable. But there's other ways, and that's what I want to show you. So, cook you a turkey breast in your Ninja Foodie or in your Instant Pot Vortex 6. I've done them both ways. It was 7 more minutes. It actually everything was the same except 7. It took 1 hour and 15 minutes for the particular 2 I did that night. They were both a little bit less plump. I think I said plumper a while ago. They were a little less plump than this one. And it took 1 hour and 10 in the Ninja and 1 hour and 17 in the Instant Pot Vortex 6. So, I mean, every time you cook one, it's going to be different because they're a little bit different. So, the sizes and shapes are different. I'm a big proponent of some kind of instant read thermometer. And I'm not saying you got to have a $100 Thermopen. I'm not. There's plenty on the market that are $10. I just think people need them for a lot of reasons, especially this type of stuff. I just saw it. I mean, I could put up a video that would show you where this one took considerably longer time to get to 165. But I'm going to get off of that and say, hey, I love y'all all. Thanks for watching my video. This is an excellent, you'll not beat this turkey sandwich, I promise. And if you do, again, like I say a lot of times, light me up in the comments. This is the best turkey sandwich I've ever ate. And I mean bar none. So anyhow, y'all have a good night. I love y'all all again. I'll say it again. And bye-bye. All right, so if you really stuck around to see the video I'm going to drop in from the supermarket where I bought these, that explains it a lot better on how to buy them. Look at that. I mean, that is turkey sandwich at its finest. I'm telling you, you'll love yourself for cooking it. So will your family. And I'm about to put in the one where I picked this piece, this particular breast up, and they only had one that night. I would have bought two, and we've been doing them different. And then I'll show you, if you'll hang out, I'll show you the frozen one, which are Butterball, and then there's another brand, Honeysuckle. There's Honeysuckle in there that show the 20% solution, which is the part that I think is important if you're injecting or if you're going to brine. If you know what brine is, where you soak it in salted water and all that, or inject. If you're going to do either one of those, if you look, these right here, and I cut it in a perfectly wrong place, 6% solution in this one, where the frozen ones have a 20%. Well, the problem is it's already injected, or it's already brined, or whatever you want to say. It's already loaded with stuff you can't get your injection or your brine to go in. But look at that. That is, I'm telling you, it really means something. If you've hung around this long, I'm telling you, this is the best turkey sandwich you'll ever eat. I just mean it. Anyhow, I'm going to drop those in. But anyhow, thanks for hanging around this long. Y'all come back to see me. Love y'all. Bye. Okay, right quick. This is where you find them, obviously, in the Butterball section. But this is not a Butterball. It's a Plainville. And that's the only one they have today, so that's what I'm buying. You can buy it like this. They have it where they cut turkeys up. But you would need to wrap it with butcher's twine. But there is one other way, and I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, here's one other way, and they're netted just like the one I'm cooking that's fresh, and you can even get them already seasoned. But I like to do them from fresh. So, and these, if you were going to inject them yourself, just one thing I'll mention is that these that are frozen have a 20% solution, and I'm just not crazy about that. That one has it too. All of the ones that are frozen that I've ever found have a solution, and anytime I'm brining or injecting, you know, I want to keep that solution as low as possible. And like on the one I'm cooking, it's only 6%. But anyhow, there's a lot of options. Now you know.